Brought to you by Penguin.
The People's War. Unheard Voices from World War II by John Willis. Read by John Willis, Christine Kavanagh, Rosina Aichner, Jamie Zubairi, Laurence Dobeisz, Conor MacLeod, Joe Jameson, Ayesha Antoine, and Naruto Komatsu. Author's note. In 2005, the BBC marked the 60th anniversary of the end of the Second World War by creating a huge oral history project called World War II People's War, which captured an astonishing 47,000 memories and experiences. This was not a history told by politicians or generals, diplomats or historians, but by ordinary British citizens, a street-level history in their own words. The BBC engaged with a multiplicity of partners to collect testimonies, including local libraries, charities, museums, and their own local radio stations. Special collection events were held, and a People's War bus toured the country. Over 2,000 volunteers taught older contributors sufficient computer skills to access the People's War website, and 2,000 school lesson plans were developed. When the initiative closed in 2006, over 657,000 people had participated in the project. I was the BBC's Director of Factual and Learning at the time, and the People's War sat within my department. I claim absolutely no credit for its invention or success, but I had a huge admiration for the ambition of the project, which closed just as I left the BBC. This was a public service broadcaster serving the public. As we now mark the 80th anniversary of the Second World War, it's all the more important that rather than sitting in the British Library, primarily for use by historical researchers, these memories should live again for a wider public, here in audiobook form. This is a special archive, not just because of its size and 6-year timeline, but because it positively overflows with courage, passion and humour in a way that no other collection can match. These testimonies reflect the lives of ordinary people who experienced extraordinary events: corporals and privates, cooks and nurses, merchant seamen and air gunners, home guard and factory workers, land girls and school children. The People's War conveys a strong sense that many contributors waited years to have their stories heard. There's a feeling of a logjam of memories suddenly released. The book's direction has been dictated by the archive. So, if the strengths of the archive take us from Dunkirk to Singapore, from the home front to Monte Cassino, that's where I have followed. In addition, I've included a few short chapters exploring some individual stories that are representative of thousands of other contributors. These include an English schoolboy, a bomber command pilot, and a young couple in love. Of course, a British-based oral history cannot truly reflect other crucial theatres of the war, such as Stalingrad or Okinawa, but the testimonies are still surprisingly international. Americans and Germans, Canadians and West Indians, Poles and Italians sit alongside men and women from every corner of the United Kingdom. Without the sacrifice of troops from Australia and New Zealand, India and Africa, Britain might well not have prevailed. The testimonies also reflect the freedom unlocked by war. Men and women who had never left their home area and who had grown up in the drab 1930s now explored new horizons in places like Egypt or Burma. The incompetence of some of their officers also made them question their existing position in Britain's rigid social hierarchy. Men and women now in their 70s, remembering a wartime childhood, have had time to understand and reflect, and these mature reflections add depth to the testimonies. But after so many years, memories can be hazy, facts can be slippery, and the language potentially inappropriate for today. Human recall is not always perfect. As Canadian Private Stan Sislow.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?